Today I would like to discuss something which most people are guilty of, and that is the voice of inadequacy, something that we often carry with ourselves. You probably have done something one time, perhaps even more than once, and you felt ridiculous, stupid after you've done it and thought, how could I have done this? That was a mistake. And then we hear this harsh inner critic and judge. It's the voice of inadequacy or inferiority. And this voice tells us that we can't do the job. It's impossible for us, and that we'll never succeed. Not only that, we couldn't have done it any better because we are often a failure. We're worthless. We are unsolvable. And many of us use this in many aspects. We use it with feelings, with developments, with our own professional life, in many different ways. This voice of inadequacy instills in us a doubt. And before we even try to beat ourselves up for the mistake that we've made, it tells us that it is all of our fault. And truthfully, I have never met a person who does not have at least a few of these concepts living inside themselves. There is a writer who calls them internal interference. They're internal, all right, and they interfere, absolutely. They're beliefs that are internalized, and they're things that we learned as we were growing up. They shaped us, they judged us, they taught us who we are. And whether we recognize where they come from or not, whether they are specific voices of the past, of the future, of the present, we're not sure where they're from. The point is that they're there, and they work on our mind continuously, letting us know that we're not worthy. And we have an interference in our life. This is something we need to get rid of. Stop beating yourself and thinking that you procrastinate. As a writer, as a matter of fact, said, if you beat yourself up because you procrastinate, your problem is not that you procrastinate. Your problem is that you beat yourself up. This was written by Victoria Nelson, who said it so beautifully. The beating yourself up doesn't help. Procrastination is just a side effect of what you are, of who you are. So many books have been written about this inner voice. And the more you allow it to grow and live, the bigger it becomes. And most people live with those messages. Ultimately, we have a choice to continue to give the voice power, and this will play over us, or we try by pushing it away and agreeing with it, or to minimize the dominion that it has over our life, and it becomes a mere predictable annoyance, like a bunch of flies at a picnic. This practice gives you the option to turn that voice into a minor irritation, a nuisance, certainly not the voice of reason. And you can thank it. You could say, thank you for reminding me of this issue, but I will overcome it, and I am big enough, smart enough, and wise enough to know that you're just a voice, and I will get rid of it. This is the way to get rid of the voice of inadequacy. Something that should always remind you that you are perfect the way you are now. Question is whether or not you'll use all the abilities and the strength and everything that you have within yourself of potential beauty to be experienced. But you are, without a doubt, the perfect person to change this world by changing yourself. If you like what you've heard, please let us know by leaving a comment below. We would really appreciate it if you would be kind enough to like, share, and even subscribe. Feel free to follow us also on Facebook. Thank you for your support.